The sound of clanging weights echoed through the SEAL training gym, a place where legends were made and reputations tested. Every man and woman here had a story, but none quite like the quiet stranger who had joined 2 weeks ago. Before I share what happened next, I'm curious. Where are you watching from today? I love hearing where you guys are listening from. He never spoke much, never bragged about his past, never wore flashy gear, just an old gray t-shirt, faded shorts, and a black wristband that looked military-issued. His name on the sign-in sheet was Ethan Cole, but no one really knew who he was. Rumors started floating around. Former Marine? Maybe. Looks like a sniper. That calm stare. Probably washed out of the teens. Yet every time someone tried to start a conversation, Ethan gave a polite nod and returned to his workout silent. Efficient and relentless, he wasn't here to impress anyone. He wasn't here for glory. He was here because it was the only place that felt familiar, the smell of iron, the rhythm of discipline, the silence between breaths. Every morning before dawn, Ethan dropped his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, at school, her tiny arms wrapped around his neck, whispering, "Love you, Daddy. Don't be sad today." Then, he came to the gym to forget to keep moving to fight the ghosts that followed him home. What no one knew, not the loud young recruits, not the instructors, not even the front desk, was that Ethan had once been a Navy SEAL. Not just any SEAL, but a decorated operator from SEAL Team 6. He had vanished from the radar after a classified mission that had gone terribly wrong. His team was ambushed. Only 2 survived. He never spoke about it again, and he never would have until she walked in. Commander Ava Reynolds, tall, sharp, and respected. A legend among SEAL officers. She entered the gym that afternoon with her usual authority, scanning the room with eyes that could slice through steel. "New member?" She asked the receptionist. "Yes, ma'am." "Ethan Cole. Comes every day. Keeps to himself." When her gaze fell upon him, the quiet man doing pull-ups in the far corner, something flickered in her eyes. A faint, buried recognition she couldn't explain. He didn't look up. His focus was absolute until the moment he dropped from the bar and turned his head. For a brief second, her eyes caught something at the back of his neck. A tattoo. A small, intricate mark. A symbol only one SEAL unit in the world carried. Ava froze. That couldn't be possible. That tattoo was classified. Only operators from one specific mission bore it. A mission that was wiped from the record books after what happened overseas. Her heart pounded as she stared. Could it really be him? The ghost everyone thought was dead? Commander Ava Reynolds stood motionless, her heart pounding like a distant drumbeat echoing through the gym. The air felt heavier. Every sound, the clang of iron, the thud of footsteps, faded into a distant hum. That tattoo it wasn't a unit logo or a standard Navy insignia. It was something far more personal, a symbol known only to one SEAL squadron, a small trident embedded within a broken compass, a mark used by Task Force Phoenix. That unit didn't exist anymore officially. It never did. The men of Phoenix were ghosts, erased from every record after a classified mission in Kandahar went dark. The only 2 names that had been listed as missing, presumed dead, were Commander Ava Reynolds and Chief Petty Officer Ethan Cole. But Ethan, he had disappeared without a trace. Until now, Ava walked forward slowly, her boots clicking against the concrete floor. She didn't want to make a scene, but she had to know. She had to be sure. When she reached the pull-up bar, Ethan was toweling off, his breathing calm and steady. He didn't look surprised to see her. He just nodded politely, the same way he greeted everyone. "Ma'am?" That voice low, quiet but unmistakable. Ava's chest tightened. It was him. "Chief Cole?" she said softly, her tone trembling between disbelief and authority. He froze. His eyes lifted, those calm gray eyes that once stared through dust storms and sniper scopes beside her. There was a flicker of pain there. Then he whispered, "It's just Ethan now." "Ma'am?" Ava took a step closer. I thought you were dead. He smiled faintly, though his eyes remained hollow. Sometimes. It's better that way. The room around them might as well have vanished. Two veterans standing face to face, survivors of a war no one knew about, carrying ghosts no one could see. Why disappear? She asked quietly. The team, the Navy. We searched for months. Ethan looked down, tightening the towel in his hands. I didn't disappear. Ava, I was told to vanish. A silence heavier than grief hung between them. He turned away slightly, his voice low. After the Kandahar op, you remember what happened. Ava's jaw clenched. She remembered everything. The ambush, the betrayal, the radio silence, the explosion that wiped out half their squad. The mission was burned, he said. The survivors were told to stay ghosts. I took the order literally. Ava felt a mix of anger and compassion twisting inside her. You could have reached out. You could have told me, he interrupted gently. What would I say? That the Navy buried us to protect someone else's secret? That my daughter deserved a father who wasn't hunted by memory? Ava's eyes softened. Daughter? Ethan nodded. Lily, 8 years old. She's all I have left. He looked away, staring at the ground. I come here to keep the noise quiet. The gym's the only place where the past doesn't echo. Ava swallowed hard. She wanted to say something, comfort, apology, anything, but years of command training kept her expression composed. Still, her voice cracked when she said, You don't have to be alone in this. Ethan. He gave a tired smile, not bitter. Just resigned. Being alone keeps others safe. As he picked up his duffel bag, Ava noticed something inside, an old SEAL Challenge coin, scratched and worn. The same one she had given him after their first mission together. He paused at the door. Good to see you again, Commander. And just like that, he was gone, leaving behind the smell of sweat, iron, and 1,000 unspoken memories. Ava stood frozen, her pulse trembling. The man the Navy buried was alive. And she had no idea why he had chosen to stay that way. That night, Ava couldn't sleep. The echo of Ethan's calm voice kept looping in her mind. Sometimes. It's better that way. She sat at her desk in the small quarters attached to the base. A single lamp casting pale light across stacks of classified files. She'd reopened her own service records, flipping through old mission logs. The ones that were supposed to be sealed. Kandahar, Task Force Phoenix. Operation Ashfall, redacted. Every page blacked out. Every signature blurred. But Ava remembered what the papers didn't show. The civilians trapped in that compound. The sudden explosion that shouldn't have happened. And the radio message Ethan had sent seconds before it all went silent. We've been compromised. Someone sold us out. Back then, command had blamed insurgents. But Ava knew better. Someone inside had betrayed them. And now, seeing Ethan alive confirmed one thing. The truth was still buried. And someone wanted it to stay that way. The next morning, she found Ethan again at the gym, early, before dawn, when only the hum of ceiling fans filled the air. He was teaching his daughter Lily how to wrap her hands for boxing. She was small, freckled, wearing an oversized hoodie, and giggled every time Ethan corrected her stance. Keep your guard up, champ, he said softly. Smiling for the first time in years. Like this, Daddy? She asked, mimicking him. Perfect. Ava hesitated at the door, watching them. The man she remembered cold, disciplined. Lethal was now patient, gentle, almost fragile in his tenderness. When Lily went to the water fountain, Ava approached quietly. She's beautiful, Ava said. Ethan nodded, not looking up. She's my reason for staying out of the world. Ava crossed her arms. And the world's reason for forgetting you? He sighed, leaning on the bench. I didn't ask to be erased. After Kandahar, I sent him my debrief. You know what came back. He reached into his bag and pulled out a folded piece of paper. yellowed and CREACD dotted read. In bold red ink, classified, case closed. Operator deceased. Ava's stomach tightened. They declared you dead. Yeah, he said quietly. And after what happened, I didn't argue. What did happen, Ethan? He stared ahead, his eyes far away. When we breached the compound that night, it wasn't a weapons cache. It was a safe house. There were children inside, Ava. Civilians. Someone changed the target last minute. Someone high up. We walked into a setup. Ava's breath caught. And you took the blame? I took the silence, he said. If I'd talked, it would have destroyed the careers of men who didn't deserve it. So I disappeared. He looked at her, finally meeting her eyes. But I kept one thing proof. He'd pulled a flash drive from a chain around his neck. Everything that happened that night. The orders, the location switch, the voice recordings. It's all here. Ava froze. Why are you telling me this? Because, he said softly, someone's been following me. The same kind of cars. The same faces near the school. I think they know I'm alive. And they want this. He clenched the drive in his hand. If anything happens to me, promise me you'll protect Lily. Ava felt her chest tighten. Don't talk like that. You're not alone this time. Ethan smiled faintly, a smile of a man who'd already accepted his fate. You always said that in Kandahar too, remember? Before Ava could respond, a loud sound cut through the morning, the sharp echo of tires screeching outside the gym. Ethan's eyes shifted instantly, soldier instincts reawakening. He grabbed Lily's hand, motioning for Ava to take cover. Through the gym's window, 2 dark SUVs rolled to a stop. Men in suits stepped out. No insignia. No badges, but Ava knew the type. Black Ops cleanup units, and they were here for him. The early morning air turned razor sharp as the SUVs idled. Outside the gym, Ava's instincts screamed danger, not the kind you faced in a battlefield, but the silent, orchestrated kind that came from within your own country. Ethan's expression shifted from father to warrior in an instant. His eyes lost their warmth. His muscles tensed. He looked at Lily, who sensed the fear before anyone spoke. Daddy? She whispered. He crouched down, his voice steady but urgent. Sweetheart, remember what I taught you. The secret game? The hiding game, she said softly. Good girl. He squeezed her hand. Go it, Commander Ava. Don't stop, no matter what happens. Understand? Tears welled in her eyes, but she nodded bravely. Ava stepped forward. Ethan. He looked at her, calm and resolute. If they came here, it means they trace me. Don't argue, Ava. You know what kind of men they send to clean up ghosts. Outside. The gym door rattled as someone tested the lock. Ethan glanced around, scanning exits like a soldier planning his last stand. Back door's clear, he muttered. Get her out. Ava took Lily's hand, pulling her gently toward the emergency exit. But before leaving, she looked back, her voice low but firm. You're not dying again, Cole. Not this time. He gave a half smile. Then you better hurry. The front door burst open. 3 men in tactical gear entered, clean, professional, efficient. No hesitation. No warning. Ethan Cole. The lead one barked, his voice clipped. You're coming with us. Ethan raised his hand slowly. You've got the wrong guy. Not this time. They moved closer, but Ethan stepped aside, calculating angles, distances, time. He wasn't fighting to win. He was fighting to delay. Ava, and Lily slipped out the back, unnoticed, disappearing into the early fog. Then, chaos. Ethan ducked as one of the men lunged. A swift elbow, a pivot, a disarm. Years of SEAL training flared back to life. He wasn't trying to kill, only to buy seconds. Seconds for his daughter to get away. The second man swung a baton. Ethan countered, slamming him into a weight rack. The metallic crash echoed through the gym, but the third man raised a tranquilizer gun. Hiss, a sting. Ethan staggered. The world-spinning dot, his knees buckled, but he forced himself to stay upright. You think? I don't know what this is about. He growled through gritted teeth. You're cleaning the files again. Just like Kandahar. The leader stepped forward. Cold and expressionless, orders are orders. Chief, you weren't supposed to exist. Ethan's vision blurred. His muscles weakening from the dart's toxin. He reached for the chain around his neck, the flash drive, but his hand trembled. The man smirked. We'll take that. But before he could grab it, Ethan clenched his fist around the chain, yanking it free and hurling it across the room, through the shattered window, out into the misty parking lot. Then he whispered, Come and find it. The tranquilizer overwhelmed him. He collapsed to his knees, his eyes fading into darkness. Outside, Ava heard the crash and turned back, but Lily pulled her hand. Gaddy! The little girl cried. Ava knelt, holding Lily's face. Listen to me, sweetheart. Your dad's a hero. We're going to keep him safe. But right now, you have to be brave for him. Lily's lips trembled. He promised he'd come back. Ava's eyes glistened. He will. I swear it. As they hurried to the car, something small glinted on the ground by the curb. The flash drive. Ava snatched it. Recognizing the chain instantly. Her breath caught. He had planned this. From inside the gym came the muffled sound of tires screeching again. The SUV's leaving. Mission complete. Ethan Cole was gone. But in Ava's shaking hand was the one thing they hadn't retrieved. The truth they wanted to erase forever. Rain began to fall, thin and cold, as Ava drove through the fog with Lily in the passenger seat. The little girl sat quietly, clutching her father's dog tag in both hands. Every few seconds, she whispered softly, He's coming back. He promised. Ava tightened her grip on the steering wheel. In the rearview mirror, she saw headlights flicker in the distance. Following, she turned abruptly into an old naval dockyard, her heart hammering. She had one mission now: find out what was on that flash drive and keep Lily safe while doing it. Inside an abandoned supply depot, Ava connected the flash drive to her secured field laptop. A series of encrypted files appeared, each labeled with a date, each tagged with Operation Ashfall. Her pulse quickened. She bypassed the encryption manually, using an old seal code, the same one Ethan had taught her years ago. When the first video opened, her stomach dropped. It was helmet cam footage. Ethan's voice came through, steady, clear, commanding. Team Phoenix entering compound. Coordinates confirmed. Then gunfire, screams, the chaos of a firefight. But when the dust settled, the camera turned, revealing women and children hiding behind collapsed walls. Ethan's voice trembled. These aren't insurgents. They're civilians. We've been fed false intel. Then another voice cut in through the radio, cold and authoritative. Proceed with the mission, Cole. You have your orders. Ethan shouted back, negative. These are non-combatants. But the voice on the radio, the commanding voice, said one final line that froze Ava to the bone. Collateral damage is acceptable. Do you understand, Chief Cole? The audio ended with an explosion, static, then silence. Ava leaned back in shock, her throat tight. Whoever had issued that command wasn't a random officer. She recognized the voice. It belonged to Admiral Jason Reed, the same man now serving as Deputy Director of Naval Intelligence. Her hands trembled as she shut the laptop. This was the secret Ethan had carried. The truth that could destroy powerful men. The truth the Navy had buried with him. Suddenly, a small voice behind her said, Miss Ava? Lily was holding a crumpled paper, something she'd found in her father's bag. It was a letter. The handwriting was rough, faded from sweat. Ava unfolded it. If you're reading this, Lily, it means I couldn't stay hidden forever. I did what I did to keep you safe from the shadows I used to serve. Never believe your father was a ghost. I just became one to protect you. If you ever meet Ava again, trust her. She's the only one who never stopped fighting for the truth. Dad, Ava's eyes blurred. She closed the letter gently and looked at the little girl. He meant every word, she said softly. He's not gone, Lily. He's just still protecting you. Hours later, Ava used a secure satellite to contact an old ally, Captain Monroe, one of the last SEALs who had survived Kandahar before the file purge. He answered with suspicion at first, until she mentioned Ethan's name. Ethan Cole? Monroe said quietly, I thought he was dead. So did everyone, Ava replied. But he's alive, or he was. Until they took him this morning. Monroe exhaled sharply. You know who's behind it, don't you? I do, Ava said grimly. And I've got the proof. A pause. Then Monroe's tone hardened. Then we finished what Task Force Phoenix started. 3 nights later, in a heavily guarded naval compound in Virginia, Admiral Jason Reed stepped out of his limousine, confident, untouchable. But as he entered his office, his computer screen flickered on by itself. A video began to play, helmet cam footage from Kandahar, streaming publicly across multiple encrypted networks. Then came a voiceover, Ava's. This footage is from Operation Ashfall, a mission buried by the Navy to conceal a war crime. The operator you see here, Chief Petty Officer Ethan Cole, was declared dead. But the truth cannot be buried forever. Panic spread through the base. Within minutes, the footage hit every major news outlet. Meanwhile, hundreds of miles away, inside an undisclosed medical facility, a nurse whispered to a patient in a restricted room. Mr. Cole, she said softly, you've got visitors asking for you. A woman and a little girl. The man in the bed stirred, his body battered, eyes still groggy from sedation. But when he heard the child's voice outside the door, Daddy? His lips trembled. Lily! He whispered. The door opened. Lily ran in, hugging him tightly, sobbing into his chest. Ava stood behind her, eyes glistening. Ethan's hand brushed his daughter's hair as he looked at Ava, silent gratitude passing between them. You kept your promise, he murmured. Ava smiled faintly. So did you. You didn't die. You lived. He closed his eyes, the weight of years finally lifting from his shoulders. Outside, sirens echoed faintly, not of pursuit this time, but of justice finally catching up to those who thought they could erase the truth. Months later, the world knew his story, the quiet single dad who had once been a Navy SEAL ghost. He and Lily lived by the ocean now, far from the noise, rebuilding a peace he had never known. Sometimes Ava visited. They rarely spoke of Kandahar. They didn't have to. One afternoon, Lily pointed to the horizon and said, Daddy, are you happy now? Ethan smiled, the first real smile in years. Yes, sweetheart. For the first time, I think I am. The camera memory would fade on that moment. A quiet man, a brave little girl, and the woman who refused to let truth die. The SEALs say, the only easy day was yesterday. But for Ethan Cole, today was finally peaceful. That's the end of today's story, but I hope it stays with you for a while. If something in it spoke to you, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and share your thoughts. It's your comments that keep me inspired to make the next one.